I had so much fun with the last comparison video, Ghost Rider versus Black Bolt, go see it if you haven't already, that I decided to do another one. This time, we're taking two of my favorite Tier 4 Blast Male human heroes, Doctor Strange and Iron Man, and we're basically putting them head-to-head to see who's better. Now, this is an interesting comparison for a lot of reasons, but it also mirrors the Ghost Rider Black Bolt comparison because these are also released about a year apart. Iron Man being the first Tier 4, and Doctor Strange being dropped just like, whatever, a couple of weeks ago. So as far as their build goes in the tail of the tape, they both have mythic uniforms, they both have Mighty CTPs of Rage with a 160 roll on them. They both have artifacts, although Doctor Strange's is a plus or a 5-star versus Iron Man's 4-star. They both have Power of Angry Hulk ISO set. Iron Man has max type enhancement, whereas Doctor Strange only has rank 5, which does matter for GBR as we're about to test. But on the flip side, Doctor Strange does have 20 Odin's Blessings, whereas Iron Man only has 10. So that's really the biggest difference here. I don't have 10 more Odin's Blessings. Well, I do have 10 more Odin's Blessings to give Iron Man, but I'm not going to give them those ones for the purposes of this test. So hey, if Iron Man keeps up with Doctor Strange despite having 10 fewer Odin's Blessings, there you go. As far as their actual stats go, they're not too far off. So you can see them here. They do have a team up, Bearded Brothers, so they are getting an extra 5% energy attack. Doctor Strange has a 104,000 energy attack, and Iron Man at 104,000 energy attack. So it's actually very close. Let's see how they do. So we got Iron Man versus Dormammu, and for the purposes of this test, I'm not going to be using their best team because I would actually use Valkyrie support and Ironheart lead or Riri Williams lead for both of them. So we're not going to do that here because otherwise it's going to cause a lot of issue. So we're just going to go ahead and pop off like this with a very high damage support and a strong lead. In this case, Iron Man has access to Hulkbuster with 105% attack, which is pretty nuts. So Iron Man's off to a good start, less than 30 seconds in, and we're already down to the 35 bar mark. This is type advantage day, and like I mentioned, Iron Man does have a slight advantage in that department. So he does benefit a little bit more from this matchup. However, I would say Iron Man is harder to play. He can get guard broken on his 5th skill here, and you sort of have to play him, even though I have a rage, you kind of have to play him like a proc character, because you have to pass the proc from his 4th skill over to either his 5th or to his tier 3. And if you miss that, you actually lose a lot of damage. Now, we actually didn't end up procking there until the tier 3, but yeah, still very, very fast. 1 minute and 9 seconds from Tony. Bro, he stays goated a year plus later. For Doctor Strange, we're going to be using Cyclops lead with Valkyrie. Not exactly the same, but very, very similar to what I just used for Iron Man. Unfortunately, Doctor Strange does not have his own Strange Buster like the good Tony does. Now, Doc Strange one-shots the first phase. Holy shit, boys. It's time to log in. That is absolutely going to put him in the driver's seat for the second half of this fight. I don't know if he'll keep up for the rest of the fight, but he certainly puts himself in a position to win based on that. Holy, I did not expect that to happen. We're 34 seconds into this fight, and he's already in the Faltine phase. Wow. Now, fun fact, Doctor Strange can actually be interrupted while doing his 5th skill if he has no buffs up, because his 5th skill actually doesn't give him any buffs until the end. Now, I think he's got this, though. Yep. So with one less rank on his type enhancement, but 10 more Odin's Blessings, he ends up being almost, he ends up being about 15 seconds faster, right? Yeah, he ends up being 16 seconds faster, actually. So 16 seconds is kind of a big deal. Now let's push them to their limit. This is stage 40 of Jean Grey World Boss Legend. We're going to give them an identical team of Cyclops lead support and Riri Williams, and we're going to see how they perform. Now, in Iron Man's case, I think he's going to struggle a little bit here. Yes, 10 Odin's Blessings is something to count for sure, but more than that is the fact that his uniform effect only triggers when the boss is below 30% HP. So Iron Man, unfortunately, has that effect that doesn't really get to shine in the beginning of these testings, and you saw it at the end of the Dormammu clip where he just bursted Dormammu down, but it's hard to tell otherwise when, you know, the boss, for the most part, has most of their HP. But we're still doing pretty well. Like, he can still do these stages. I originally cleared them with Iron Man before I got Doctor Strange. That's why I was able to climb up. And as you can see there, he has amazing targeting. I have to highlight the insanely good targeting on Iron Man's 5th skill. Really, really good. We're just going to tank the blast here to get down to the next phase. And there you go. 355. 355 is the time to beat. And for Doctor Strange, he gets his full power right away. He doesn't have a uniform effect that only triggers at 30%. So I fully expect him to be the winner here. He also has a V-pad skill, which I wish Tony would get one day, which does give him a big advantage on being able to reposition away from Jean Grey after certain attacks. So that is certainly a big deal because of... Oh, we had to cancel the tier 3 a little early there. But that's certainly a big deal because of the way that Jean works, right? And these stupid purple attacks that she does. You absolutely want to be able to dive out of the way. And, okay, we're not able to pull off the full combo there with the tier 3, but that's okay. He still manages it in about 4 minutes and 13 seconds. So he manages it in about 47 seconds. So that puts him firmly ahead of Iron Man. Now, like I mentioned, part of the reason why Iron Man is doing worse than Doctor Strange is because of the fact that we can't leverage the full value of his kit until later in the fight. So essentially, Iron Man lags behind Doctor Strange and potentially lags behind other Blast heroes until the end. And then once you get the boss down below 30% of their HP, Iron Man suddenly catches up in a major way. So we're gonna have to do a test that really allows Iron Man the ability to illustrate this value. Mephisto is likely the best place where you can see Iron Man's value and the crazy damage that uniform effect pumps out in real time, because Mephisto gives you not 1, not 2, but 3 opportunities to burst him down when he's below 30% of his HP. Now, this is a pretty low stage. It's only stage 49 of World Boss Legend, but we are doing it with no supports, no leadership, and no strikers. So hopefully we can zero in and really showcase just how much crazy burst damage Iron Man has. And as you can see here, oh my god, as we get Mephisto down, the numbers start going crazy. Iron Man is doing 2 to 3 million damage per hit on some of these attacks, which is crazy. So you can see here the damage is good. It's certainly good. But when we get down to those last 10 bars, Mephisto's HP is going to absolutely fly. It's going to take off like an F-16. It's going to just like explode. And you're going to have to be quick to see it happen. But when it does happen, it's about to happen right now. It just goes. Look at that. Look at that. So, like, you almost have to slow it down in real time to appreciate it. The first few hits of, like, the first half of the tier 3 skill did, like, 3 bars. And then the last half of the tier 3, because it triggered, right, because he has 30 bars, so 30% is 10 bars and under. The last 10 bars, Mephisto just was deleted. And he was deleted when that was the ending of Iron Man's 6th skill. So it makes no sense there would be that much damage hiding at the end of the ability, right? So we're gonna try to do another test here to really showcase what's going on here. We're going to pop a tier 3, right? It's gonna do a lot of damage here. It's gonna bring us perfect. We're right in the range now of this ability activating. And what I want you to check out is, look how much damage the 3rd skill does. You see that? It's doing bars of damage by itself because his uniform effect has triggered and he can now access that additional 200% damage. Look at that. Just by itself. Look at that. Look at that. The infinite skill by itself. I might die from taking damage, but look at how much damage that's doing. Absolutely crazy. Look at that. You could just with the 3rd skill, you can kill him. Look at that. That's insane. To fully illustrate just how powerful his uniform effect is, we're going to go back to that same fight. And now I want you to pay attention to how much damage his 3rd skill is doing without the uniform effect triggered. So this is Mephisto at 30 bars. He doesn't have You know, he's not below 30% of his HP. So as soon as we dodge this shit, I just want you to pay attention. Like, the damage is still good, right? But even with the rage proc, this is nowhere near as fast as it was, right? You remember, we did 10 bars here in a matter of seconds, right? And now you can see the damage is nowhere near. Even if I proc with the 4th skill and pass the proc, now the damage maybe starts to look the same. But even then, it's not nearly as strong as it was when we had that uniform effect active, because of how strong that is to get an additional 200% damage. While I know Doctor Strange has a leadership that buffs his attack and ignore dodge, we're not going to use it here just to keep the comparison 100% fair between the two of these heavyweight giants. But yes, in a truly fair fight here, Doctor Strange would have access to his own leadership, because why would you not use Doctor Strange's leadership, right? It just doesn't make any sense. Now we're going to play a little bit tactfully and not use his 5th skill, there we go, to get to the next phase, because we know that the 5th skill has the most juice, and we want to save that for the second life of Mephisto's 3 tails here. There we go, popping off, there we go, trigger the phase. Now I actually can't remember, this usually happens to me. I can't remember how fast we did with Iron Man, how fast we did the whole fight. So you're just going to have to clarify it for me in the comments later on. But I don't remember who's winning this one. Doctor Strange is here at 50 seconds. I think maybe Iron Man wins this one. I'm not 100% sure, though. I'm also not doing a very good job of dodging those stupid purple lines. Dude, I hate them so much. Pop the tier 3, and let's just finish this here if we can. No, we cannot. I was late with the rage proc. Very nice. Excellent. All right. So yeah, I think Iron Man wins this one, and this becomes a perfect illustration of why the kit really matters for character, right? And why you can't just do one test and see. So yeah, that's definitely slower than Iron Man. No testing would be complete without a no pierce test. For this no pierce test, we're gonna go back to Null, the OG, stage 34. We're not gonna use any lead, any support, or any buffs whatsoever, and we're gonna see who gets him out of the chair faster. This is going to be an interesting one because no pierce, you just forget about it, right? Once you get a little bit of pierce, you're just like, Now, great timing here from Doctor Strange, being able to pop the tier 3. We did switch up the timing here on this one, but it does matter because we missed the first cage. We were able to dodge it. Now we use the co-op skill to dodge the next cage, and we're flying. We're golden. Popping the tier 3 here. Popping the 5th skill, not the tier 2, I was going to say. And we should be done. Very nice. So in about 40 seconds, Doctor Strange, with 0% pierce and very free-to-play cards, is able to get Null out of the chair on stage 34. Iron Man, with all odds against him, lines up to take down the mighty Null. Will Iron Man be enough to take him down? Well, honestly, regardless if he is or isn't, I love the fact that he dodged that purple circle there at the bottom that was otherwise going to guard break me. I was actually worried I'd have to restart the clip because of that. He pops the tier 3. And the damage is absolutely lackluster. Oh no. Yeah, no pierce is hurting my man Iron right now. Yeah, this is not good. Okay. We do dodge the cage with a clever use of the co-op skill, allowing us to pass a proc onto 4, but I'm still not very happy with what I'm seeing here. Damage wise, it's not very good. We're unable to trigger our proc until much later. We're already behind. Yeah, we've gone through 9 bars. This is actually pretty crazy. Now, to be fair here, I did realize while I was testing that Iron Man has a bit of a disadvantage because even with 0% pierce on my cards, and you can see here on the details page, well, actually, you can't see that on the details page. But anyways, even though you can see that my cards are set for World Boss, Doctor Strange still gets 1% pierce from the team up bonus, the team up collection. So that wasn't a truly 0% pierce comparison. That was a 1% pierce versus 0% pierce comparison. But I don't imagine that Iron Man does a lot better with an extra 1% pierce. But if we're able to redo this test in the future when we get support characters that give pierce, then perhaps we can do it. But that also just shows you that there are some characters who are inherently stronger than others now. And it doesn't really matter what your comparison is. because of what's available. Like if you had this completely maxed out, then Doctor Strange would have, and Ghost Rider and Moon Knight for that matter, would have access to an extra 10% pierce at the max level. So yeah, it's something that you should also take into consideration whenever you're seeing a solo comparison of one character, that you know, it really could make a big difference what the account is doing when you're looking at that. But yeah, that's how it shakes out. I do think Doctor Strange takes the cake on this one, but Iron Man honestly holds up. Over time, he does hold up. He's still an amazing tier 4. He's still super fun to play, in my opinion. I still love him, and I think his uniform effects are still among some of the greatest that the devs have ever created. These are just so cool, and it's just so amazing to see him just turn it on at the end and just completely, like, he gets the biggest damage numbers, basically, right? Damage numbers that you just don't see, 5, 6, 7 million per hit when you have that uniform effect active. So I absolutely love him for that, even if he might be slower in the first 2/3 of the fight. Iron Man finds a way to catch up. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.